What's up, everybody, and welcome to another Angle of Pursuit podcast, your fantasy football, sports betting, and NASCAR home here at fakepigskin.com. I'm your host, Kyle Robert. You follow me on Twitter at NotoriousKRO. With me once again, it's Brian Twining. What's up, Brian?
What's going on, Kyle? I know football has gotten started here. We're through week one of that, but NASCAR is rolling along in their own playoffs, and we're coming up on the last race before they cut the playoff standings down to 12. So this one's uber important.
Yeah. It's a big race. Obviously, we're going under the lights at Bristol. Always a fun race. Always a lot of stuff going on. A lot of action. Great race to dive into. But before we jump forward, let's jump back just a little bit and talk some federated 400. I don't know, something like that.
Whatever the hell it was called.
Yeah. Shouts to OG with the Joey Logano top 5, I believe, or top 3.
Top 5.
He finished top 3. OG called top 5. So shouts to you. Great call. A fun race. Obviously, our Kyle Busch, our Kurt Busch, and Ryan Newman picks didn't go out so well. But we're messing with guys like that. Sometimes that can happen. But let's spin it forward. Let's talk the Bass Pro Shops night race. As we mentioned, it's going to be at Bristol. This is the last race before the next leg of the playoff gets started. And let's start like we always do, Brian. Let's go inside that 10-1 and talk about our favorite options. If you had to pick one name, and as this typically does, we fall on the same sword. I can give another name in the similar range that I like as well. But let's talk Kyle Busch.
Yeah, the last couple of weeks, we've kind of seen that there was really only a couple, if maybe 2 guys that were favored to win this race inside like 10-1 odds. And this week is not the same case here. We have, I think it's 6 guys inside 10-1. So this is a race that nobody has really completely dominated because it's just a short track. You see a lot of nicks and bumps throughout the race, guys getting in little accidents, flat tires and stuff like that. So that's why I think a race like this offers a little more variables when it comes to who's going to win. But going to Kyle Busch here, he's won 3 of the last 6 races at Bristol. He actually won this year. Last year he had a 4th this year and a victory and another 4th place finish last year here. He's led 30 or more laps in 5 of the 6 races at this track. And he's entering the playoffs. He was kind of up and down. It's kind of been one of his worst seasons, even though he was able to sneak in there. But the last 2 races, he's ran really well, finishing 6th and 7th. And, he's currently 9th in the standings. He's looking to kind of jump up into that top 8, which will be the next cutoff after this one. And for a guy who has been as successful as he has throughout his career and last year winning the Cup Series championship, he hasn't had a victory yet. And I think this race offers up his best opportunity yet.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% with you. I think he is finding his form. I think he is going to be in the final conversation when we get down to the end. But I absolutely love him this week, as you mentioned. He's been last 3 races, top 5 finishes, including a win. 1 in 17, 1 in 18, 1 in 19. He should win again, right? That's how the math works.
Yep.
If we're not going to Kyle Busch, I do like Brad Keselowski a lot. Not only is he sitting on the pole, won the race that we had here back in May. Last year in August, finished top 3. He's 6-1. I don't hate the idea of taking Kyle Busch and Brad Keselowski, splitting your bet on both of them to win outright and just calling it a show. I think they both have a tremendous shot to win, and I like Keselowski starting near the front and obviously sitting on the pole. But coming off of a good performance last week when he won, everything seems to be trending in the right direction for him. He's another guy that I think could absolutely be in the conversation come season's end in terms of who could be hoisting the championship trophy at the end of the year. Let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it moving. Let's do what we always do. Let's go outside that 10-1 and find another name we agree on, Mr. Clint Boyer, who is 20-1 this week in the outright market.
Yeah, this is a guy who you and I have consistently backed, probably much to his dismay, because it seems as if every time we go for him, he winds up having one of his, mediocre races. But he's had 5 straight top 10s at Bristol, 8 of the top 10s in the last 10 races here. He finished second during this season's race. He's averaging finishing in the top 10 here. He's currently, going back to this whole playoffs thing, he's currently in 12th for the playoff standings, which is the last place that will advance after this race. So you can say it all you want, but this race is the most important race of his season if he wants to have a shot at winning the championship. As long of a shot as it is, he's going to have to perform well. He's starting 11th. That it already places him within the top 10, and he has to hold off guys like William Byron, Matt DiBenedetto, and those dudes. So I'm looking at Clint Boyer, who has a really good consistency at this track to stay within that top 10 pretty much the whole day and try to maybe even make a move into the top 5.
Yeah. And if I'm betting him, that's what I'm looking at, is that top 5 plus 275. Feels like a nice value. Gives you that flexibility where if he finishes 3rd or 4th and you're cashing tickets and loving life. I love Clint Boyer this week. The fact that we're both on him probably means he'll wreck, and so fade us and make all the money. But he sets up really well for this track, as you mentioned. Got to try and push to get inside that next cutoff, and no place like this one where he's done so well. Another guy that I want to kind of look at in this range is Jimmie Johnson, 22-1. Another guy that not really had the season we kind of wanted to see before he kind of calls it a career. That being said, back in May, he finished 3rd at this race. You want to guess where he started in that race, Brian? He started 24th.
20th. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And guess where he's starting on Saturday night?
24th.
He's starting 24th. So, science, right? Math? I don't know. This is a guy that traditionally has done well. Obviously, a 3rd and a 9th back in 18, a 10th in 2019, 19th in his one in August race. Not ideal, but top 10s in a lot of that. Once again, I prefer to look at a top 3, a top 5 with Jimmie instead of an outright at 22, just because I think Keselowski and Kyle Busch and even Harvick will definitely give him more run, and maybe he wins. Maybe if you wanna take a little bit of a stab on it, I don't hate it. But I do like Jimmie Johnson a lot. I expect him to perform well, and if you're playing daily, could be a nice value considering he's starting 24th. I expect him to finish it at or near the top 5, and that could pan out really nicely.
Yeah, I like the call of Jimmie Johnson because he was a guy that I was also kind of looking at, and I do think that it's kind of important to look at that his teammate William Byron is somebody who's battling to advance in the playoffs. So I think it'll be really interesting to see if Jimmie Johnson's moving up the pack, to see if he's there to assist Byron to move up to try to sneak into the next round, or if we see Jimmie just kind of do his own thing because he's like that old dog that's trying to get that last bite of the bone here in his last race at Bristol. So
be a real shame if he pushed his teammate into the top 5 and he finished 6th or 7th. That'd be real frustrating.
Yes.
Let's dig a little deeper. Let's talk about a long shot. Christopher Bell, 66-1. Hit me.
All right. So normally, like when I do my research, I'm looking at how these guys do at this particular track, and then also trying to look at what their most recent success is in the Cup Series. And Christopher Bell, he does not hit that second criteria, as he's been. Yeah, you don't really know what to say about him. He's had his moments, but most of the time he's finishing near the back half of the field, like 18th or 19th. But when looking at what he's done here at Bristol, he finished 9th here at his first race of the Cup Series. His two Truck Series races, he has a 5th and a 7th place finish. In his Xfinity career, he has a 2nd and a victory and a 14th place finish here. So this is a guy who he's ran really well at this track. And when we're looking at the potential to get nice return on investment, I'm looking at guys like this who people really aren't going to be backing. And when you're looking that he's starting at 18th and the potential for him to kind of move up the track, I think he's one of my favorite DFS plays as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even at plus 175 for a top 10, like I like that value. I think that's a good number. And you just need him to move up those 8 spots. And I think it's definitely doable, especially because a couple of guys will crash out. A lot of stuff will happen. This race will get wild. So I think it's probably one that you don't want to start counting your winnings until the race is actually over. Because you could be leading the whole race and then at the last lap kind of crash out. So Brian, before we get out of here, let's hit our best bets. Where is your investment going this week?
Well, you mentioned it when we were talking about our old buddy Clint Boyer. I'm going Clint Boyer top 5 at plus 275, baby.
I love it. I like that quite a bit. I'm going to go Jimmie Johnson top 5 at 3-1, just a little bit better payout. I don't hate the idea of taking a shot on both of them. They could easily be 2 of your top 5 if you're betting outrights. I think we both like Kyle Busch, so bet someone else.
Go with the other guy.
Exactly.
Brad Keselowski.
Yeah, Keselowski, because we're gonna be like, why didn't we pick him? Yeah. So, Brian, this is fun. Keep it rolling. If you enjoy fantasy football, NFL content, make sure you check out our other videos. But for Brian Twining, I'm Kyle Robert. We'll talk to you guys next time.